Aaron Hale never liked attention. Even when he was a child on Earth, he preferred quiet corners, small tools, and simple work. He grew up fixing broken machines, repairing drones, and learning how things functioned from the inside. When he joined the Interworld training program and came to the colony station on Vera 9, he expected the same kind of life. He thought he would work quietly, study, finish his training, and return home as a skilled engineer. He never imagined that an alien girl would change everything for him in one single moment. The station was a large circle made of steel, glass, and glowing blue panels. It floated above the soft clouds of the planet, supported by gravity stabilizers. Every day, humans and aliens walked through the halls wearing their training uniforms. Some were soldiers, some researchers, and some technicians. They all had one goal. They wanted to learn how to work together for the future of the galaxy. Aaron was part of the mechanic and equipment division. His job was simple. He repaired tools, checked the energy cells, and maintained the training platforms. He preferred working early in the morning, when the halls were quiet and only the cleaning drones moved across the floor. But the station became lively whenever the Orellan trainees arrived. Orellans were a bright and energetic species with soft, glowing marks on their skin. They were friendly, cheerful, and always curious. They liked talking, laughing, and moving around. Their language was musical and fast. Their emotions were open and easy to read. Some humans found them charming. Some found them too playful. Aaron respected them, but he also tried to avoid their attention. He simply did not know how to deal with loud and energetic beings. Among all the Orellans, there was one who stood out. Her name was Lyra. She was young, cheerful, and always full of excitement. Her eyes sparkled like small stars, and the glowing lines on her arms changed colors depending on her mood. She liked speaking to everyone, even those who were quiet. She especially liked speaking to Aaron, even though he always looked surprised whenever she came close. Lyra would wave at him from across the room. She would ask questions about tools, machines, and strange human objects. Sometimes she followed him around during his work, trying to learn what he was doing. She asked him why humans preferred simple colors. She asked why he never smiled. She asked why he always looked tense. Aaron never knew how to answer. He usually replied with short sentences. Yes, no, maybe, I think so. But Lyra never seemed bothered by that. She laughed at his short answers and said his silence made him interesting. The training day began like any other. The large practice hall was filled with panels, platforms, and machines. It was used to test reaction speed, teamwork, and tactical thinking. Today, the trainees were practicing equipment assembly. Each group had to put together a small energy stabilizer under time pressure. Aaron was also in the hall, checking tools and repairing a loose connector. He liked staying at the edge of the room, away from the noise. He listened to the instructions calmly, even though he was not part of the competition. Lyra's group was the loudest. She shouted encouragements at her teammates. She rushed from one corner to another. She laughed loudly when someone dropped a piece. She even cheered for the other teams. Aaron tried to focus. He kept his head down and worked on a fallen component. The small machine had slipped from a trainee's hands earlier and needed repair. He knelt down on the metal floor and began fixing its internal wiring. Lyra noticed him immediately. She waved from a distance, but Aaron did not look up. He was too focused on the wires. Lyra smiled mischievously and walked toward him. Her steps were light, and she had a playful energy in her movement. She was standing on a small platform just beside Aaron when one of her teammates called her name. She turned too quickly. Her foot slipped on a loose tool. She lost her balance. Before she could catch herself, she let out a small yelp and fell backward. Aaron heard the sound and looked up, but he had no time to move. Lyra landed gently on him, more surprised than hurt. Because Aaron was kneeling, she ended up sitting lightly on his lap, her hands touching his shoulders for balance. The room went silent for a moment. Lyra blinked at him. Her glowing lines shifted to bright yellow, a sign of surprise. She meant no harm. For Orleans, light physical contact was a friendly gesture. She expected Aaron to gently push her off or stand up in confusion. But something completely unexpected happened. A soft pulse of light appeared around them. It spread from where her skin touched his uniform. The glow was warm, gentle, and smooth like a slow heartbeat made of light. It was not bright enough to harm their eyes. It was simply there, surrounding them both like a small, shimmering bubble. Aaron froze. He had never seen anything like it. He raised his hands slightly, unsure of what he was feeling. His fingertips tingled and his chest felt strangely warm. Not painful, not dangerous, just warm. Lyra gasped. She quickly jumped off him and stood beside him, staring at her own hands in shock. She looked at him as if she could not believe what had happened. Her glowing lines turned soft blue, a sign of confusion. The other trainees gathered around, whispering to each other. They had seen the pulse. They had seen the glow. No one had any idea what it meant. The supervising officer, Commander Rellan, rushed forward. He was a tall man with sharp eyes and a calm voice. He carried a small scanner and immediately pointed it at Aaron and Lyra, checking their energy levels. The scanner beeped. The screen displayed strange readings. Rellan frowned, then widened his eyes. He looked at both of them carefully and said something no one expected. Their energy signatures were synchronized. Everyone looked stunned. Energy synchronizing across species was extremely rare. It usually required years of emotional connection or shared life experience. It never happened by accident, and humans and Orleans had never shown this kind of match before. Lyra felt her heart beat fast, even though her species did not have the same kind of heartbeat as humans. She stared at Aaron with wide eyes. She had only wanted to tease him for a moment. She had only wanted to make him smile once. She never imagined that the simple, playful accident would create a reaction that experts said was nearly impossible. Aaron stood slowly, feeling the last bit of warmth fade from his hands. He looked at Lyra with confusion and surprise. He was not frightened, but he was deeply unsure of what had just happened. His quiet life had suddenly changed in one instant. Commander Rellan told them to follow him for a detailed check. The trainees moved aside, whispering excitedly. Some smiled at Lyra. Some looked at Aaron with curiosity. Lyra's glowing lines shimmered with embarrassment, and she kept her head down as she walked. The hallway to the testing chamber was long and quiet. Aaron walked behind the commander, and Lyra walked beside him. Normally she talked non-stop, but now she stayed silent. She kept glancing at Aaron as if she wanted to apologize but did not know how. Aaron noticed her unease. He remembered how cheerful she normally was and how boldly she approached everyone. Seeing her silent felt strange. He wanted to say something comforting, but he was not good with words. After walking for a while, he finally spoke softly. He told her that he did not blame her. Lyra's glowing lines turned gentle green, a sign of relief. She exhaled deeply and thanked him. She told him she never meant to fall on him. She told him she only wanted to see what he was fixing. She told him she did not expect anything unusual. Aaron nodded. He believed her. He also believed that what happened was not her fault. The testing chamber door opened. Inside were bright lights, clean surfaces, and screens showing biological data. Commander Rellan asked them to stand on two separate platforms as technicians activated the scanners. The scanners read their pulse patterns, energy waves, and neurological signals. The data was shown on large, transparent screens. Lines and shapes moved quickly, adjusting and combining. Aaron watched silently. Lyra shifted nervously. The technicians whispered to each other. After several minutes, Commander Rellan looked at them both and explained the readings. He said that humans and Orleans had different bioenergy rhythms. Normally, they never aligned. But for some reason, Aaron's and Lyra's energies had reacted to each other the moment she touched him. It was a synchronized pulse. It was not dangerous. It was rare. It was new. He said it could be the beginning of a unique cooperative ability between their species. He said it might be important for future missions, but they needed more data. Lyra looked stunned. Aaron looked calm, but his mind was spinning with questions. Commander Relin told them that for now, they should rest and return the next day for more tests. He assured them that nothing harmful would happen. He also recommended that they avoid sudden physical contact until they understood the phenomenon better. Lyra agreed quickly. Her glowing lines flickered nervously. Aaron simply nodded. When they left the room, the hallway felt brighter than before. The day felt heavier for both of them. Lyra walked quietly beside Aaron instead of jumping around like she usually did. Aaron kept his hands in his pockets, unsure of what he should say or do. He finally told her that everything would be fine. It was the longest sentence he had spoken to her since they met. Lyra looked at him slowly, her eyes soft, her glow calm. She smiled gently, not playfully this time, but gratefully. She told him she hoped he was right. The day ended with both of them returning to their living quarters, each lost in their own thoughts. Lyra sat on her bed, replaying the moment in her mind. Aaron lay down in his small room, staring at the ceiling, wondering why the pulse had felt warm instead of frightening. Neither of them slept quickly. Neither of them knew what part 2 of their strange connection would bring. But both of them knew one thing. Their lives had changed today, and nothing would ever be the same again. The next morning on Vera 9 felt different for both Aaron and Lyra. The station halls were the same. The glowing panels on the floor were the same. The sound of training alarms was the same. Yet everything inside their minds felt changed. The memory of yesterday's strange pulse still rested in their thoughts like a quiet whisper that refused to leave. Aaron woke up earlier than usual. He sat on the side of his bed, staring at his hands. He remembered the warm feeling that had spread through them when Lyra touched him. He could not forget it. It was not fear. It was not pain. It was something he had never felt before. He tried to describe it to himself, but failed. No simple word seemed correct. It was too strange and too new. Lyra also woke up early. She kept touching the glowing marks on her arms. They were dim today, soft and quiet. She was usually full of energy in the morning. She usually stretched, sang, and walked around her room with excitement. But today she sat silently on her bed, thinking about the moment she had fallen on Aaron. She thought about the glow that had wrapped around them. She wondered what it truly meant. When they finally left their rooms and walked toward the testing hall, they met in the corridor. Lyra slowed down when she saw Aaron walking ahead of her. She almost hesitated, unsure if she should go to him or wait. Aaron noticed her presence and turned his head slightly. Their eyes met for a moment. Lyra tried to smile, but her nervousness made it faint. Aaron was surprised to see her look so shy. He was used to seeing her cheerful and bold. For a moment he thought of turning away, but he remembered how uncomfortable she looked yesterday. He wanted to make her feel better. He told her she could walk with him. Lyra's glowing lines brightened softly. She walked beside him in silence for a few seconds before she finally spoke. She asked him if he slept well. He did not lie. He told her he did not sleep much. She said she did not sleep either. Their steps matched as they walked toward the testing chamber. Other trainees watched them curiously, whispering among themselves. Some smiled at Lyra, some nodded at Aaron. Their surprise from yesterday had not faded. Commander Relin was already inside the testing room waiting for them. He greeted them with a calm expression and instructed them to stand on the energy platforms again. Several technicians surrounded the room, ready to record new readings. The scanners activated. Soft lights scanned their bodies from head to toe. The screens lit up with colorful patterns. Lines moved, merged, and shifted as the data streamed in. After a few moments, Relin asked Lyra to step closer to Aaron. She obeyed slowly. She stood about 2 feet away from him. The scanners reacted immediately with small changes. The lines on the screen flickered. Then Relin asked her to lift her hand. Aaron watched quietly as she raised her right hand. Relin told Aaron to raise his hand as well. When their hands were close, the scanners beeped loudly. A soft pulse formed between their palms. Not as bright as yesterday, but still visible. It looked like a faint ripple of warm air. The technicians gasped. Relin studied the readings deeply. He explained that their energy fields were becoming sensitive to each other. Even without touching, they created a mild, synchronized reaction. It meant the pulse was not an accident. It meant the connection was real. Lyra's glowing lines became soft green. She looked at Aaron carefully, searching his eyes. Aaron looked calm, but his heart was beating faster. Relin told them something important. Their combined energy might be useful in stabilizing certain machines that reacted unpredictably to single-species operators. In missions requiring mixed teams, this could be a powerful advantage. He informed them that they would begin training together under supervision. Lyra's eyes widened. She asked if that meant they would work side by side every day. He said yes. Aaron tried to hide his surprise. He was not used to working so closely with anyone. Still, he understood the importance. He nodded. After the testing ended, Relin told them to visit the equipment hall for their first training assignment as a pair. The walk there was quiet. Aaron kept his hands behind his back. Lyra kept glancing at him, trying to understand what he was feeling. When they entered the equipment hall, they found a complex machine standing in the center. It was called the Harmony Driver. It was used for multi-species missions where balanced energy control was required, but it had always been unstable. A technician explained that the machine needed 2 operators who produced compatible energy waves. No one had succeeded before. Relin believed Aaron and Lyra might be the first pair able to stabilize it. Lyra stepped forward confidently. Even though she was nervous, she wanted to help. Aaron joined her on the other side of the machine. They placed their hands on the smooth control pads. The machine hummed softly. It came alive with gentle vibrations. At first, nothing happened. The lights flickered uncertainly. Lyra bit her lip and focused. Aaron closed his eyes, trying to stay calm and steady. Then something changed. A warm wave flowed through the machine. Their energy pulses synchronized without warning. Soft golden light spread across the machine, forming calm and stable lines. The hum became smooth and even. The technicians stared in disbelief. Relin ordered them to continue. Aaron opened his eyes slowly. Lyra looked amazed. The machine was stable. It had never stayed stable for this long. The lights shifted gently between blue and gold. The machine recorded clean, perfect readings. Their energies were creating harmony inside the device. After a few minutes, Relin allowed them to step back. He congratulated them. It was a success. It proved that the pulse they had created was not just a strange event. It was a rare ability that could help the entire station. Lyra felt excitement return to her heart. Her glowing marks brightened happily. She turned to Aaron with a wide and genuine smile. He looked at her, surprised by how relieved she looked. She thanked him for helping her stabilize the machine. He quietly told her he only followed the instructions. She laughed softly and said she felt his calmness when they worked together. Aaron did not understand at first, but he did not argue. Their training continued for the next few days. Every morning they met in the hall. Every afternoon they practiced together. Every evening they reported their results to Commander Relin. With each passing day, Lyra grew more comfortable around Aaron again. Her playful side returned slowly. She joked with him during breaks. She asked him questions again. She tried to teach him some Aurilan words, even though he struggled to pronounce them. Aaron found himself listening more than before. He also spoke more than usual. He answered her questions with longer sentences. He asked her about her home world. He asked why her species liked bright colors. He asked what the glowing marks on her arms meant. Lyra happily explained everything. She told him that the glowing marks were emotional indicators. She told him that her people liked warm climates and soft music. She told him they believed every living being carried a unique light inside. Aaron did not fully understand, but he liked hearing her talk. Her voice made the training feel more relaxed. But one afternoon, while they were working on the Harmony driver again, something unexpected happened. A loud alarm echoed across the hall. The machine next to them began to overload. Sparks flew from its core. The energy inside it surged out of control. Technicians shouted and backed away. Commander Relin rushed toward the console, but the system was locked. The machine was moments away from exploding. Before Aaron could think, Lyra grabbed his hand. Her glowing marks brightened in panic. She pulled him toward the unstable machine. He understood her intention without words. They reached the machine together. Lyra placed her hand on the control panel. Aaron placed his hand beside hers. The moment they touched the controls, their energy synchronized instantly. A bright but safe field grew around them. It looked like a glowing barrier. The unstable energy inside the machine calmed. The sparks faded. The humming returned to normal. When the danger passed, everyone stared at the two of them in disbelief. Aaron and Lyra stepped back, breathing hard. Lyra looked at her hand still holding Aaron's. She pulled it away shyly. Her marks turned soft pink, her species' color of gratitude. The technicians thanked them. Relin looked impressed. He told them that what they had done was remarkable. Without their reaction, the hall might have been damaged. Aaron looked at Lyra carefully. She looked back at him. Something unspoken passed between them in that moment. Not just relief, not just pride. Something deeper, something calm and new. After the incident, Relin allowed them to rest for the day. They walked out of the hall side by side. The usually busy corridors felt quiet around them. Lyra stopped near a large window overlooking the planet. She placed her hand on the glass. The glowing lines on her skin shimmered in the soft light. Aaron stood beside her, watching the clouds swirl far below. She asked him if he was scared when the machine overloaded. He told her he was, but he trusted her judgment. She looked surprised, then smiled warmly. She said she trusted him too. The silence that followed was comfortable. Not awkward, not heavy, just calm. Lyra turned toward him and told him she was glad she had met him. She said she never expected someone so quiet to become so important in her life. Aaron did not know how to respond at first, but after a moment, he said he was glad too. Her glowing marks turned bright gold. It was a color of happiness in her culture. The station speakers called for the end-of-day cycle. The halls dimmed slightly. Lyra walked with Aaron toward the living quarters. When they reached her door, she hesitated before speaking. She told him that she hoped their bond would continue to grow. She hoped they could keep training together. She hoped he would not avoid her anymore. Aaron assured her he would not avoid her. His voice was soft, but certain. Lyra smiled at him once more before entering her room. Aaron walked to his own room slowly. He lay down on his bed and looked at the ceiling again. But unlike the night before, his thoughts were peaceful. The warm feeling in his hands returned briefly as he remembered the moment their energies had synchronized during the emergency. He did not understand everything that had happened. He did not know what the future held for him and Lyra. But he knew something important. Their connection was real. Their bond was growing. And whatever came next, they would face it together. He finally closed his eyes with a calm heart, knowing this was only the beginning of something special between the quiet human and the cheerful alien girl who had once fallen on him by accident. The end.